Dano, Burkhart, thank you for being with me on Morning Light.
Yeah, it's awesome to be here.
We've known each other a long time.
We have.
But I didn't know your whole life story.
Yeah.
And take us a little bit on the journey from age 6 to 43,
Yeah.
which you don't look 43.
Yeah, oh, I appreciate that. No, it's just, being born, I was born with spina bifida, as came as a complete shock, of course, to my parents, and having a baby that had a birth defect.
Other siblings?
Yeah, 2 older brothers, and they were all fine, perfectly healthy children, And then I'm born, and my legs were crippled, and then we later find out that my spine is only half grown, and I'm probably never going to be able to walk because of the way my legs were formed. And from the very beginning, that really started my whole faith process. Basically from my parents. Then treating me like everybody else, treating me like my other siblings, and showing me that, hey, this is how God made me, and how
Wow.
he wanted me to be, and kind of growing up in that. And then of course when I turned 6, and then I needed to have my legs amputated, and they actually removed my legs and rebuilt my spine with my own leg bone. That was done in Shriners Hospital out in Portland, Oregon. And I was the second person in the world to ever have that surgery all done at once. So I had my legs amputated, my spine rebuilt. And that was kind of like my real first test of faith. I've learned about who God was and Bible stories, and VBS and things like that.
What was the story that you clung to in all of that?
Just basically that God was never going to leave me, and that my parents really instilled in me that I was who God wanted me to be, and that he was never going to leave me, and laying in a hospital bed, worrying about what a major surgery might be, or waking up from surgery and noticing that you're going to be different from everybody else the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Those legs that you think one day aren't going to straighten out and you're going to be able to walk are now gone. And how is that going to affect you?
And the challenges have not ended.
No, that is just something.
Kidney transplants.
Kidney transplants. I had my, even before that, I had multiple surgeries. I'm on surgery 51 now in 43 years. And most of them are major surgeries, from amputations to kidney transplants to major bone infections, where I actually had surgery on my back where I had developed an infection in my spine and things like that when I was 15. And then when I got through college in 2009, my kidney started failing due to a massive infection that I developed. And I went through that whole process of finding a kidney donor, which actually my brother ended up being my kidney donor, and overcoming that and going through the transplant and dialysis and things like that, where you're, coming through college and you're getting ready to start your career, you think,
right,
and you're stuck to a dialysis machine, 3 days
but
a week.
It's the story keeps going forward to forward to forward.
Yeah.
It's not stopping.
No.
Then there's no pity.
Right. No, and that's one thing like I said, is with my parents, is always, you can't live in that self-pity because it gets you nowhere, right? And drawing on your faith, of course, and who God is and who he's instilled in you and who he is by bringing you through certain things, knowing that you're able to face things that come up and challenges that come up, that you can kind of build on that. God brought me through that first surgery, and then he brought me through my first kidney transplant. And then, 9 years later, I'm having another kidney transplant, and God has really never left me through all that.
So take 30 seconds now and give me a thumbnail of what you do now. What is life like now for you?
So I work full-time. I actually sell medical equipment now, selling wheelchairs and home medical equipment. Been doing that for the last 16 years now. But I also have a television show as well that I do in the mornings, on Sunday mornings on Fox here locally.
What's it called?
It's called Dano on the Counter. And it's a cooking show. So I actually climb up on the counter and I share a recipe through the first part of it. And I take people through the grocery store and I show them how I shop and how I drive and things like that. And then the last 5 minutes or so, 7 minutes or whatever, or I kind of share a story about what God has done in my life, and how God can have an impact on your life if you just hold on to that faith.
And I want you to stay with us. And when we come back, I want you to make it practical for people who are going through really hard times right now.